Welcome back, Maverick Traders. It's Joe with you here. Let's get into our next candlestick pattern. This is the Bullish Harami. Harami is Japanese for pregnant or being pregnant. That's right. So we're going to have ourselves a bullish pregnant candlestick. Well, I'll show you that pattern here in a second, but let's get to the Bulkowski breakdown of it and find out how often we can see these, I should say, and what kind of ranking we get. So the theoretical performance is a bullish reversal. That's right, folks. It is a bullish Harami. So we are looking for something to move to the upside. Its tested performance is 53% of the time it does reverse. So there's 47% of the time that this doesn't. So it's just above average. So if you kind of lean towards just the bullish move for this, it's going to be a better indicator versus kind of how Bulkowski does it, which he just takes a look at it and sees which way it goes and measures it accordingly. So the frequency rank is 25 out of 103. These are pretty common. It's kind of nice to see. But where they develop, once again, is going to be more important to us. And let's lean more towards the 53% of the time of actually moving up. Now break down some more statistics on this. The overall performance rank is 38 out of 103, so it is above the average there. The best percentage meeting price target is 69% of the time. Now this is in a bull market with the up break, and that's exactly what this is designed for. 69% is pretty darn good. I like that. Hey, 70% or above, we're going to have some statistics in our favor. Now the best average move in 10 days is also to the upside by 4.05%. However, that extended move over 10 days or the best performance was actually in a bearish market, but it still had the up breakout. So something downtrending, getting the Harami as it extends, and in a bull pullback, if you will, versus a bull break. So it's an upward breakout move, but the 4% run in the 10 days is specific to an overall bear trend. So best 10-day performance rank is 45 out of 103, just over half because of that, it does extend pretty good to the upside by about an average of 4%, and it's got that meeting price target of 69%. So this is actually a pretty good pattern considering, or I should say based on where you find it. This is also, by the way, that 45 rank is bear market up breakout, just like it is in the 10-day average. Now I'm going to summarize this again, folks, with my two examples, because this isn't exactly a pattern that we're looking for in a downtrend after a down move. Although it's the best performance is in that situation, I like to look at these also in an uptrend after a bearish correction. Yes, that's right, folks. Continuation to the upside of an overall trend. First off, let's break it down. Let's show you what this candle pattern looks like. We've got bearish candles moving lower. Now, folks, this is what I like about the bullish Harami pattern. This could be pulling back in a overall bullish trend, or this could be an extension of a down move in a bearish one. Notice it doesn't make a difference. We just need candles moving lower. We got a very large red candle, and then we have a small green candle inside of its body. So think of it this way. That red candle is pregnant because there's a little baby candle inside of it with a green candle. This would make it a bullish Harami. Yeah, that's right, folks. That's a little corny, but that's how I first remembered it. Now, a couple of things that I'm going to point out in this video. You do not need the shadows, meaning the high or the low of this little pregnant candle, to be within the range of the body of the bearish one. All that this is measuring is the bodies of each. The open and close of this red candle has to be outside, or I should say the little green guy here, the open and close, has to be inside of the big red candle. So the only range you're looking for is the open and close of the red candle and the open and close of the green candle after it. That is confirmation. If you have shadows that are a little bit above, a little bit below, that's fine. In fact, Bulkowski took this a little further, saying that you can have both the open and the close equal, but never both, right? So whether this candle is at the high of, or the open of the candle, or at the close of the candle, they can share that price. Now, for me to find the exact, what I really like to see is something very healthy in the middle. And yes, folks, I actually prefer having the high and the low inside the range of the preceding red candle. That's preference. I don't know if there's any sort of probability or statistics that help or support my preference, I should say, but I just kind of like to see it that way. So once that happens, we still need a confirmation candle, and that confirmation candle just needs to exceed the high of the tiny little green candle, or the little baby bull, if you want to call it that, right? So the bullish harami is the two candlesticks together. The confirmation has to be a candle that closes above the inside day, or this little bull day, above its high. Yes, folks, not just its close, but its high. That's the confirmation. Now, I believe that if this develops at a pivot point, it's going to have a lot more consistency with it. But when we get that 69% that Bulkowski's tested, I'm pretty confident that that thing is absolutely going to confirm its base target. So what are the best setup conditions? Now notice I have this downtrending chart over here to the right, because what was tested is that 4.05% after the bull move from a bearish trend. So when these things reverse in bearish trends, they seem to do a little bit better. But keep in mind, this can also be not just downtrending, but an uptrending chart as well. So based on the Bulkowski downtrending chart, after a bearish extension, confirming above the inside day's high. That's the little baby candlestick, or the one that's inside of the big red. Once we get the confirmation above that little guy's high, that shows that we have confirmed, and it's actually working to the upside, or probability state that we should be going long. So high level of frequency, it's 25 out of 103, so they are pretty common, but it's got a decent level of performance. So we can expect these things to really, once they confirm, do pretty good with a pretty good run. All right, so let's jump out into the markets, or let's get into our example and see if we can't find this. So jumping into our example, we're just going to move this chart here along and see if we can't find the development of a bullish harami, right? A pregnant bull. Now notice that this chart is actually already uptrending. I'm waiting for a corrective action to the downside, and it looks like we got one. Zooming in a little bit further, guys, you can see that we do have our harami pattern. Now in this example, we can see that the high has exceeded the range of the previous candle, or the bearish candle, but that doesn't matter. We just want to make sure that the bodies here are within that bear body. So the next thing we need to do is get confirmation above the high of the green candle. And we got that pretty aggressively, pretty quick. So its target is going to be the pattern's range. And I'll get an example of this here. So the range of this pattern from here to here added to itself upward. So let's see if we can't just get a quick little measuring stick here and add it to where this should be moving upwards. So this range is pretty far, and it looks like it needs to get a little bit higher than where it's at. So let's see if we'll go a couple of more days and see if that actually gets to that point. So let's see if we can move forward and see what this does. Now let's go ahead and give this thing 10 days. The confirmation candle we'll call as 1. This is number 2, 3, 4, and looks like we came back down, right? But let's see if it breaks that support. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I don't think that it exceeded its range here, but after a 10-day move, from the 10-day move after this formed, I could say that's probably pretty close to the percentage, or exceeding the percentage to the upside. All right, well, that's a pretty cool example. Let's see if we can't move forward and find ourselves another one. Now, when I was doing this example, I almost passed it, but as you guys can see here, we actually technically have a bullish harami pattern. And now it's a very large baby, right? The candle in front is large, but if you take a look at it, it is definitely inside of the previous red candle. Now, it might be a little bit of a reach. You can see the next day we didn't get the confirmation. We just have this doji, but let's see what happens if we continue going forward. It looks like we are not going to confirm at all. So this is one that I would throw out because we didn't get the confirmation. Let's see if we can see another one develop here over the next few candlesticks. We're seeing some inside days, but nothing harami. There's another one right here. So after that one failed a little while back, we've got one that's a little bit more distinctive. It's got a pretty good range. You can see the low and the high of this candlestick is outside of the previous red, but that's not what confirms, I should say. That's not what creates the Harami. The Harami is body inside of body, which we have. So let's see if this confirms to the upside. Nope. Rolled a little lower. Let's see what happens in the next candlestick. Oh, almost another Harami pattern there, but I can see that the close of the green candle is above the previous day's open. So that's not technically quite there. Let's see what happens over the next day or so. Oh, and it looks like it would almost wanted to turn over. Here's another one. Now this one's a little bit different, as this is more of a doji as far as the baby green candle, but technically we have a body inside a previous red body. Now Bolkowski was right on the money when he said that this was a very common one, 25 out of 103. So we've seen quite a bit in just this example alone. Let's see if we get some confirmation. Not the confirmation I'd like, but it is definitely confirmation. And this confirmation has definitely exceeded the price range or the price expectancy of its target, I should say its target price of the Harami. Let's give it 10 days and see what happens. That's 1. We'll call the confirmation 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, this is a very exciting candlestick pattern that seemed to do very, very well. All right. Well, I could probably find a few more, folks, but it might be best just to cut you loose and have you go do them on your own. But feel free to come out and do exactly what I've done here. Look at past charts and see how often they confirm, or even in your demo trading. All right, guys, let's do a quick wrap up, and we'll cut you loose. So the pattern frequency, it's higher. It's on the higher level. It's 25. We clicked through maybe 15, 30, 40 candles at most, probably 30 candles, and we saw 3 or 4 of these develop. Now, the more frequent a pattern is, the more false triggers or the false signals, I should say, it could give you. So let's make sure that we find this at a pivot point, some sort of after a pullback, and more importantly, wait for that confirmation. There was 2 there, 2 examples that they didn't confirm, and we're happy they didn't because they went the wrong way. So the pattern rank is mid-level at 45 out of 103, but the tested performance is 53% of the time. It's a bullish reversal. Now, I wanted to add that at the bottom, it can be used in a bearish or bullish trend. I know that it tests higher in a bearish trend after a bearish extension and a bullish correction, but I have found that with a tested performance of 53% of the time, it's basically 50-50. So if you have this in an uptrend after a bull pullback or a bearish move in an uptrend, you should get at least the same 53% reversal. I'm not sure about the run afterwards. So don't be afraid to use these on bullish charts as well as bearish charts. Just make sure you know it's a bearish move and it is a bullish reversal signal. Wait for that confirmation. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.